And welcome to another David Zimaleta. In today's video I have something interesting. So anyways, let's begin. As you guys know, for a while I've been planning to have my own car dealership, and I've been going kind of like, you know, like in the direction whether I want to have it or not want to have it, and I had all kinds of like imaginations when it comes to making business decisions, because I think it's important to think everything through, because at the end of the day lots of businesses fail, so you don't want to start something and then fail at it. However, it is recommended that you do it anyways. But look, let's be real here. If you're gonna make you know, like decisions when it comes to like failing, then you gotta make calculated you know, like decisions when it comes to opening up your business. I mean, it's you know, if you're gonna be building a house, you know, you want to have the proper foundation for the house. So all these decisions that I talked about and thinking things through, I did it in order to create the proper foundation, and I needed to find out whether or not this actually will work. And I wanted to have the best possible scenario, the best possible outcome. It's very important. So that being said, with this little introductions, let's begin. So in this little video I'm gonna give away like a little secret to you guys. Well, actually lots of secrets. The very first secret I want to give away to you guys is this. If you have a property next door to you and you're located probably like on the main road, even the property that you currently have, that you currently live on right now, let's say you wanted to turn this into a business, and if the business goes well, you probably want to buy another property somewhere else and live nice and comfortably, because after all, why are you doing this business? You're trying to probably improve your lifestyle, you're trying to live a little bit better, and you know, create a nice little business for your family, you know. So here's the thing. You can apply with the planning department in your county by going to the city hall. You could submit an application to apply for rezoning, and then they're going to take your information in some cases it's going to cost you $250. In some it's going to cost you more. In my case, I just filled out an application for $250, and I basically applied for rezoning of my second property that was next door, that was zoned just residential, and then it got rezoned to B2 commercial. That was my choice. I could have went with B3. They actually recommended that I did, but you know what, I didn't want to like rezone it to something like on the bigger scale, because my property is like 0.69 acres. So I'm thinking, so what is, you know, B3 gonna do to me? I mean, that seems like a very serious business, and possibly not gonna get approved. So I wanted to make sure I'm gonna just get in there kind of lightly and get it approved to B2 commercial, and if I need to rezone it again to like B3, I could do that. But here's what happened. I rezoned it to B2. It took about 3 months in order for this to happen. There was a voting process by the city council, and they voted in the favor of rezoning my property. Even though the zoning department themselves, and this is kind of funny, they were not happy about it, that I rezoned it. They were like, oh, we can't believe they rezoned your property and blah, blah, blah. Well, because it wasn't really up to them. It was up to city council to make that decision, because there's city plans, future plans, and future city growth and stuff, which is important. So anyways, long story short, I got it rezoned. So why did I rezone it to B2 commercial? Well, B2 commercial allowed me to create a car dealership, and that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to create a car dealership. I did not really care about having a service department, that kind of thing, because under B2 commercial I would not be allowed to have a service department. But here's what happened. Later on that year, because this was already in the works, this was already in the plans, and I knew this because the planning department told me this, that they were planning to rezone all the properties to different zoning, like in accordance with their plans and stuff like that, automatically. So here's what happened. My property, B2 commercial, got rezoned automatically to rural business. Okay, so when it got rezoned to rural business, guess what it allowed me to do? Now I could have a service department. So I could not have it before, but now I can. So it was automatic. It was a free rezoning. in the beginning, I didn't like the sound of that, like rural business. I like B2 commercial sounds so much better. But when I looked at what it allowed me to do, I'm like, okay, that's good, that's free, so it's awesome. But after rezoning and stuff like that, I kind of had like second thoughts, and because it was like so easy to rezone it, and I was thinking, what if it was a better decision just to build like a house on it, rent it out, sell it, or whatever. Because after rezoning, the plans did not allow me to do much else, stuff like that. So anyways, I don't want to hold you up too much. Wow, we're at 6 minutes already. So here it is. I wanted to start a car dealership, so I went and I actually took a car dealership class in South Carolina. I applied for it, I paid for it, I passed everything, I got my certificate. During that same week when I was taking my course, I had the DMV department inspect my area and stuff like that, and they pre-approved me. Then the next step would be, in order to open up a car dealership, would be to get a letter from the zoning department, approval that I could have a business there. I got that letter. They actually charged you for that letter. So that was fine. But then later I had some second thoughts, and I kind of thought, opening up a car dealership, I wasn't really seeing the profit margins, at least in my head. Of course, they are there. The profits are there, depending on how you're going to do the business, and I'm not going to get into that right now. But what's important is what I'm going to have to say right now. Okay. So with doing some more thinking, I started thinking, whoa, I could actually buy cars from the auction, and if the car is smashed, it does not really make sense to fix it. It really doesn't, because you got to fix it properly. You got to buy a lot of different parts for it, and by the time you do all these investments, you're really not sure if all that time spent working on the car and all the money, if you're even going to break even. Okay, in some cases you might lose money, but a lot of people find a way to make money. So I kind of started thinking, okay, so in order to make money, I would have to buy a car that's actually completely fixed, or it's like a little bumper to bumper thing. You just need to change the bumper, grill, maybe headlight, like a fender or what have you. Maybe like just clean it up and then you sell it, because that's a little bit easier to try to gauge your profits. You could kind of see, okay, well, this car is worth the next amount. I could probably get it, and sell it for such and such, because you don't have to do much work to it. The time spent on it is pretty much nothing. So you can kind of make money, but then again, you have to create inventory, and you're really not sure if that inventory is going to sell. Sure, you could make money, but you don't know. But as you guys know, I'm an expediter. I make money by expediting and stuff like that, and the amount of money that I'm capable to make here is between 10 and 15,000 a month gross revenue. So it is a pretty nice chunk of change when all said and done. Let's just say I make between 9 and 10 when I pay all my expenses. It would be about right. But in order to do this, I have to spend a whole month doing it. So here's what I started thinking. I have 6 sprinters now. I have 4 SUVs. I have a couple cars. So I started thinking, okay, all of those vehicles need lots of work. Lots of work. I could do all the work, but doing all the work does not justify the actual sale of the vehicle. So I could actually, I'll make money. Sure, I'll make money, but to me it's not enough money, because the time I'm going to spend even doing the work myself, I could have might as well went and expedited, and I would have got that money anyways. So I try to look for the solution to this issue. So I'm kind of thinking, okay, I could do parts. So by doing parts, I would have to pretty much completely part out the whole engine, transmission, everything about the car, and then we're talking money. I will have pretty much thousands of items that I could sell. But here's the problem that I've run into, and I already made a video about that was completely free. It was about the decision whether to take my sprinters and put drivers on them, and instead of parting them out, because they will create like revenue and stuff like that, and the video is all correct. I said everything correctly, but I'm always after more money, less effort, and like just to make money the best way possible, less risk, less insurances, less regulation. I'm all about that, because when it comes to having an expediting company and another business, when all said and done, they're all making about the same type of money. So if you're going to have some kind of business, and if you're going to do it like maximize what you're going to do for that business, just like, you know, build it up and stuff, you're going to make, you know, just more money and more money and more money. It's like, it's almost like, doesn't make sense starting other businesses. All that's going to do is take away from your time. So by me having drivers and stuff, it would be a 24-hour type of thing, and I would only profit about, you know, between $200 and $2,500 a month from each vehicles, and that would be kind of gross because I would still have to worry about insurance, breakdown, service, and stuff like that. So when all said and done, you really don't know if you're breaking even or if you're making money. You would be making money, but there's a lot of trouble. Like, you'll have to hire, train, fire, and you're gonna have all kinds of problems anyway. So because that's business, you can't expect everything to run smoothly. So my solution is to, like, okay, how to eliminate all the risk. Okay, the only risk I'll have is the financial risk of the investment itself in me doing the work. So in order to minimize the risk, I came up with a solution. Part everything out that I have, apart from couple cars. Like, I would like to keep the Chrysler 300 Limited for my family instead of parting it out, and I would like to keep or maybe like resell the Infiniti FX35 that I have, because I invested a lot of money up front for it, so it doesn't make sense to part it out. Plus, it's a popular car, it's a really beautiful body style, so I'm gonna keep it, and then most likely I'm gonna resell it and get something else. It only makes sense. But going on in the future, I really don't want to buy cars that are smashed in order to try to, like, you know, resell them. Like the Infiniti just needs an engine. You know, I bought it from a dealer, but it broke. So it's not a salvage title. So it makes complete sense to try to fix it. The Chrysler just needs a door. It's got a couple of imperfections, but it's a really nice car. And it's got low mileage, so it will make a nice family car, I guess. But anyways, that's all about that. It's not important for this video. What is important, you know, here's what I started thinking. All those cars, if I was to strip them and pretty much chop them all up and stuff into a bunch of parts, I create a junkyard. I would have literally a junkyard in my yard, and I'm gonna run into a problem. I'm either going to run into a problem with the city ordinance or whatever. They're gonna say, you got a junkyard in the back, clean it up. We don't like that. By me having a business there, they can't really say that, okay? Because, you know, that's how it is. But they're still not gonna like it. My neighbors might complain, which they don't. I only have like a couple neighbors. I don't want to be an eyesore myself. I would not want to have a junkyard in the back. But so what is the solution for that? The solution is strip the cars down and use the current. You know, I have like two things. I have one little building that somebody used to live in it. I call it my shed, but really it's not a shed. Somebody used to live in it. There's a bathroom there, there's an office, and that's what I claim that I'll be using as an office. Like, the office area is about like 12.5 by 12.5. The bathroom portion, it's about I don't know, like 10 by 10, you know, something like that. And it's definitely big enough for all the regulations, stuff like that. So I could technically use that for a car dealership, and I actually, you know, was, you know, saying that and stuff. So the idea is not only to have a car dealership, but it's going to be important to have a service department, which is less important, but it's important, and it's going to make a lot of sense to have a parts department. Now, if I'm going to have a car dealership and I'm going to buy cars from an auction, whether they're smashed or not, it justifies me holding them kind of like in the back somewhere, because in the front there'll be like a shop, there'll be like a warehouse full of parts, and that makes a lot of sense, guys. And there'll be like an office in the back where I could, you know, keep all the important documents, because after all, the DME wants access to all the documents. They want to just be able to get in there and check out all your paperwork. So I'm going to, you know, turn that into an office, because hey, if they want to come check it out, they don't have to ask permission. They could just go in there and they could check it out. So I really don't want to create a bathroom and an office inside of the warehouse, which I contemplated, you know, doing. But I really don't have to do that, because if I'll do that, there's just more chances of them seeing something that they don't like, tripping and falling for the customers. Like, why would I want to take them into my warehouse and show them what I got and stuff like that? There's possible theft, there's possible somehow taking advantage of the situation. So I don't want them to go there. You know, obviously I don't want city without the proper paperwork to go inspect there, because it's a warehouse. That's where I store my parts and stuff. And obviously by me having my own service department, I could sort of have like my own parts, and I could go and pick them up the shelf and boom. And I could sell parts, you know, but to sell parts I want to sell them online. But if somebody comes, I would like to be able to, you know, just bring the part out and just have it in my shop or whatever. If somebody needs to use a bathroom, I could, you know, allow them to use the bathroom, you know, somewhere else. So that's going to be important to do. And so that being said, I figured out the situation with the junkyard. Obviously I'm not gonna have one, but nobody could really say nothing, because what I want to do is chop up the whole car and get rid of the whole body. If it doesn't sell like within a month, I'm gonna probably take it to a crusher and just get rid of it. And I might keep some components of the body, like some popular areas that get damaged, like for side impacts. I would like to keep the roofs, and I would like to keep I'm just gonna like cut them. I'm just gonna cut out the portion where the doors goes, and because I'll be able to stack them, I'll be able to put them like next to each other, so in case somebody's trying to fix like side damage, they could have that part from me, because I'm just gonna cut it up and give them what they want, and like with the roofs and sunroofs and stuff like that. So, but the most important part of this whole conversation is the aspect of the like selling parts. This is the most important thing. This is the money maker here, and this is what's going to open up your eyes, because you don't have to have your own property to do this. You don't have to have a shop. You don't have to have a business on property. All you gotta do is just have your own place where you store parts, and that could even be storages. Like you could rent yourself like a storage unit, chop up the car, bring it to a storage unit, put it on shelf. If the parts sell, go pick it up at the storage unit and ship it off. Like, that's all you gotta do. Like, you'll definitely just make it. So this will allow anybody that's watching this video to create their little parts business and stuff like that, and also giving you idea how you could like maximize your profits by having a car dealership, by having your own parts department, by having your own store, you know, your own service department. If you do have like a piece of land, guys, with parts, my goodness, you could make so much money. Here's like a little eye opener. If I was to hire 10 vans, let's say to work for me, right? 10 vans, I have to buy those vans, I have to find drivers for those vans, I have to service those vans. But let's say they're profiting me, man, they're not even gonna profit me $300 a day. They're gonna profit me probably $300 a week. But let's say they profit me $300 a day somehow, like I don't know how, but they're gonna profit me $300 a day. Guys, that means all I gotta do is sell 10 parts per day. That's worth anywhere from $250 to $300. And what this means is income of $90,000 per month. 10 parts, guys, 10 parts per day. That's all it's going to take. 10 parts per day. And that's why you're paying for this video, because if you're gonna have lots of inventory and sell 10 parts a day, you're more than capable of packaging all these things up in the same day and shipping it all off. And I'm gonna tell you some secrets that's upcoming right now. You could do basically shipping like by signing up for like a service from like, let's say like UPS or United States Post Office or whatever, and you could get scales, weigh the item, print your own shipping label, and stick it on the box. You don't have to stand in line, you don't have to stand anywhere, and you could just call the post office, say, hey, pick it up, or schedule like different pickups, like maybe like once a day. So all it's gonna be like day to days, like you're gonna, whatever you sell, you package it up that same day. In the morning, they're gonna pick it up and the item's shipped off. So everything's gonna be shipped on time, it's going to be done perfectly and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give you another idea, you know, for parts, how to categorize all these parts. And in order to categorize them, let's imagine a library. Why a library? You know, like library got like bunch of shelves, you know, stuff like that. So if you're choosing one brand of car to work with, like it's going to be like a lot easier for you. Let's say you only got like one car to work with. You already know your brand. So all you gotta do is categorize everything by year, you know, for that model or whatever. And you're gonna have to create a section that's going to be everything that's related to, like for instance, engine heads. You got the heads there. Then you're gonna have an area that's related to fuel type of you know, like with the way, you know, like the everything that has to do with the fuel in the car. Anything from a fuel pump to high pressure fuel pump to fuel injectors to fuel lines and stuff like that. You can have a shelf for that. Like that just, you know, has to do with fuel area. And then you're gonna put like maybe like on top portion you're gonna put like all the high pressure fuel pumps. The lower you're gonna put all your, you know, fuel pumps that's inside of the fuel tank. At the bottom you might have all the fuel lines and all the fuel filters, whatever, and you could have a nice little area. And or the whole shelf could be dedicated to that, like depending on the shelves. Then the next area over you might have all the heads, or you might have you know, to the bottom, you know, like everything like that has to do with the engine block, like all your, you know, like pistons and stuff like that. And maybe an area for starters, for alternators and stuff like that, ABS units, you know, like just organize it like that. By like if it has to do with brake systems, put it where the brake system goes. Fuel systems with the fuel systems, you know, with oil systems, you got an oil system, like turbo, like everything that has to do with that. Like you're gonna be completely organized with all those parts, and you'll be able to like make like so much money, because when you take apart the actual engine instead of just selling the engine as a whole, there's so much money to be made, because somebody somewhere needs that part, and that part will still sell. Because just the United States alone, we got about 350 million people, and then you got Canada, if you're selling to Canada, and across the whole world, there's so many millions of people. Somebody somewhere needs that part. Somebody's either working on a project or rebuilding an engine or something. And the beauty about it, all you gotta do is take it apart, stick it on the shelf. You don't have to fix nothing. You just sell them the part, what they need. That's it. And you know, man, there's like so much money to be made. You could also do this by not buying a car and stripping. You could also go to junkyards and just pick all the popular parts, like headlights, tail lights, any kind of lights in the car, any kind of moldings, you know, trim, all the stuff that goes bad, like dashboards, instrument clusters, seats, you know, like the panel that's between, you know, like the center console. All these things, they bring in like lots of money. All these little trim pieces, like steering wheels, steering columns and stuff, you could just go remove them and sell them, like airbags, you know, things of that nature. You know, all this stuff is very, very, very important. You could even like remove like entire like roof, you know, like panel and stuff like that, and like resell it. Some junkyards, they're really reasonable, and just take all the stuff, stick it in your garage if you have a garage. If you don't, basically take it to your storage, and in the storage, of course, create like some kind of shelves. If you got like a 10 by 20 storage, you could probably just open up like your door and have shelves just going like kind of like zebras. You could go like right in between. Some of the good ideas to try to, you know, take note of: go to parts store. Look at how the parts store are doing it. They got all those parts kind of like in the middle. And the beauty about it is, unlike a car dealership, you don't have to register the car. You don't have to, you know, like do none of that stuff. You don't have to put on insurance. You just sell parts. Just keep selling parts, and it never stops. Just parts business alone, guys, you could literally make a couple $1 million a year. There's a couple friends of mine that have basically that's doing this thing. Like one of them is making $2 million per year selling all kinds of parts, and another one like 800,000, and that's all they're doing is just parting out cars and selling them. There's so much money to be made in there, like, and stuff like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create another video that's going to also be a paid video, but I'm going to give you like a step-by-step. Like this one is like lots of ideas that's worth a lot of money, but I'm also going to give you videos where I take you inside of my operation, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing. Naturally, I don't want to have this available to everybody, because like why would I? Because I'm technically bringing somebody into my house, technically, which would be like my warehouse or whatever, and I'm showing, hey, here's all the parts, you know, and you know, like somebody that wants to do damage, of some sort, they could use that to their advantage, you know. And I don't want that. So if somebody's paying for it, then this person is interested to creating this business for themselves and wants to get like proper information, which I will provide, and provide any information how to open up your own business when it comes to the dealership, the parts department, the service department, how I did it, and stuff like that. I'm gonna have like basically, you know, courses and stuff like that. If you are not satisfied with my course, let me know, and what I'm gonna try to do is you know, provide a refund, you know, that kind of thing. But I think it's definitely reasonable to say that this information is valuable. Sure, you could find it all on YouTube and try to filter everything out and stuff like that. But instead of like YouTube, I figure out all this information on my own and create strategies and plans like how to really make it. Because with a lot of businesses, there's a lot of upfront costs. And I could go about this two different ways. You know, like first way, I want to just launch my own parts, and I don't have to technically like open up. I'm just going to use like my own storage and do it like that. And then I'm going to shift over and actually open up a car dealership, and then everything's going to make sense. And of course, when I open up a car dealership, I'm going to build my own, you know, like garage for car projects and service, and probably hire a guy or a couple guys to service people's cars and make money that way too. So what I could also do with those guys that work for me, I could say, hey, in the back, a new car came in. We don't have any clients right now, so go strip a car. So they're gonna strip it down for me. So if they are busy, they could make me money by servicing cars. If they're not busy, they could be stripping down the car for me, and I could handle all the financials, everything like that. And I'm having everything on the same property. And I don't have to wonder, where's my Sprinter van right now in the country? Like, is he treating it? Is he taking care of it? Is he doing the proper service? Is he dogging it out and stuff like that? Is he gonna quit on me next day? Do I have to find somebody new? Because working local, especially like locally, like where I live, there's not a lot of jobs. Most of my business is going to be online anyways. So, you know, some people are gonna have like be like walk-ins, which is gonna be perfect, because I want to sell like, you know, like big items like doors, like body parts, panels, you know, whatever. All those big items like seats, I really don't want to ship those. But all the little stuff, I want to have them available online and stuff like that. And also available on my website. You know, you can just go buy them and just pick them up locally or whatever. So anyways, guys, that's just like a little idea there. And I'm gonna go through with it. I see there's lots of money to be made. And even if I sell one part a day, which is $300, you know, per day, like one part from a big ticket item, which is not like that expensive, guys, I'm gonna make like $9,000 a month. Like, it's going to be more than enough for me to do like whatever I want, and technically this will replace my current income, and I could just keep going, just keep going. I love buying cars. I love kind of like stripping them down, you know, putting stuff together. To me, it's more like artistic, and I would like to create my own car projects to where I'm gonna literally build my own supercar. And hey, what better way to do it than just going and using my own parts off the shelf, because I'll be able to make things work. I'll be able to use any kind of lights I want and just create whatever I want to create, you know. And I think that's where it's really interesting to me. And as far as the car dealership goes, I know I'll be allowed to have like 25 cars for sale. I'm not gonna try to like put like so many cars, maybe like, you know, 3 to 5 cars at a time. I don't have to have like lots of operation, because all I want is to be able to have a car dealership which will justify everything else that I'm doing, because I have to pay garage insurance, and like, then why not have a garage, right? If I'm paying a garage insurance. So that's what I'm gonna do, guys. So that's what's important. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of videos that's free that should be paid, but they're free, and just watch those. You could learn a lot of stuff. I do constantly brainstorm and I weigh everything out. Every idea that I have will make you money. But here's the thing, even though I'm a believer in many different businesses and doing many different things, I do also believe that if you're going to start a serious business, then that's where your primary focus needs to be. And for me, it's not even the car dealership, it is the parts and its service. This is the biggest money makers. Even like the car dealers, where do you think all the money coming from? Parts and service. That's where the main money is. That's where they make it in. And I now see why. Because just having a car dealership alone, it might be slow, you might sell, this could be stressful. I mean, I literally don't have to worry whether the car sells or not. That's the position I want to put myself in. But at the same time, have a legal business, legal entity that pays taxes, that will, you know, meet all the guidelines, you know, for the city and the state and government to meet all the obligations when it comes to taxes. Because at the end of the day, that's all they want. They want you to follow regulation. They want you to, you know, pay taxes and stuff like that. But at the same time, I minimize my risks, and I'll have all these businesses going at once, and it all makes sense. It's all right there, and I could manage everything. You know, I sort of have like everything figured out. Just need a couple people. In the beginning, it's just gonna be me, and then before you know it, I'll hire one if I'm, you know, starting to be busy, and then hire another guy, and I'll see how it is. If it's really busy, I could hire people and just keep doing it. Keep getting stuff stripped, keep taking pictures. And yes, this is actually going to be very, 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 very important. I'm going to teach you guys right now really quick something very important. If you're selling parts on eBay or Amazon, wouldn't you agree that the part that has the white background, it's the most professional, right? And many different images. So you might think it's a special studio, like how are they doing this stuff like that? What if I told you you could use your iPhone or whatever phone that you have to do the same white backgrounds? And not only that, you don't need a white background to do that. All you need is a blue tarp or a green tarp, because it's kind of like plasticky or whatever. You of course need to clean the parts off, and the tarp will be cleanable. And you need some kind of table and regular daylight outside. You don't have to have a special studio. Put your part in many different positions, or just stick it on a table like that and just take pictures all the way around it to get every single angle of that part. Here's what you do next. Those pictures are going to be in your phone. All you got to do is download like one application. I'm going to leave a link in the description below for this video. Guys, it costs $2. I already tried all the apps that's free. They don't work. It costs $2. What you'll be able to do is upload your picture from your photos right into that application, and you get rid of the blue background or green and replace it with any background of your choice. So naturally you would want to replace it with white background, and there you go. Like, you just solved that problem. So you could literally have an area where you take pictures outside. You could even leave it like that. You could have like a little bench that's got a blue tarp over it that's secure, and when you take pictures of it, you could, it's called chroma key, guys. Chroma key blue, chroma key green. All you do is you slide this little bar over and you get rid of that blue. It's gone, or green. All you're left with is a background that you chose. It could even be mountains, it could be grass or whatever you want. But it's important to choose a white background, because it's very professional. It will definitely make you stand out. Anything that's sold on Amazon, especially, that's what they want. That's what they actually require. And that's what you want to do when it comes to selling on your website, your eBay store, because it's going to be very professional. And there you go. It's my little secret. That application costs $2. But man, it's so quickly to edit those photos in that application, and you could adjust anything. You could crop it, whatever you want to do, and it's very simple, you know, which is important. And this here will save your time, because here's what you do: whatever you end up taking apart, let's say the whole day, even if you don't have no daylight left, you clean all those parts up, you know, let them dry and stuff. So the next day, between, you know, like morning up until 12, before all this, you know, like main sunlight gets in, take all those pictures, and you'll have them on your phone. Then continue taking other stuff apart, and later on that day, you'll just want to go ahead and edit all those photos and make all those listings happen. So you could you'll sort of like miss one day, but after that day, you'll be able to take pictures in the morning, take it apart the whole day, list everything at night, and there you go. Time management. You'll have everything listed you know, the way you want. So, you know, that's going to be awesome. You know what I mean, guys? So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself. God bless you, and see you guys in my next video. And once again, thank you for paying for this little tutorial here. And take care, guys. Bye bye.
Saw your picture